Power scaling is kind of stupid. I mean, it's fun to think about with friends, Zoro versus Mihawk, Goku versus Vegeta, but come on, does it really matter that Goku can no-diff your baby cousin with asthma? So I'm taking a more lax approach to power scaling, focusing more on storytelling rather than on pure strength. With that being set up, let's get into the matchup. Could Gordon Freeman solve an incident? I'm not going to explain what Tohuou is, as it's been done to death, but I will get into what an incident is. Basically, it's an unknown event that disrupts the greater natural balance of Gensokyo. So, the Eternal Night incident from the Imperishable Night is an incident, as it disrupted the night flow, causing yokai to hunt for longer. While Kaneko moving into Gensokyo in Mountain of Faith isn't an incident. So there's quite a bit of incidents to choose from, and I'm immediately going to cross out a few of them. Both Genso Lunar Wars and the Vampire incident, not to be confused with the Scarlet Mist incident, and now on why we don't have much info on the first Genso Lunar War, or the Vampire incident, and the second Genso Lunar War, I'm not too sure how to fit Gordon in, as it's a bit too tight-knit. There are 4 that I'm eyeing, those being the Scarlet Mist incident, Spring Snow incident, Eternal Night incident, and whatever the Subterranean Animism incident is called, mostly because how simple those 4 are. Ultimately, I land on the Scarlet Mist incident. The simplicity and how well it is known will make it pretty easy for me to work in Gordon without explaining the incident at all. I've said incident 15 times now, and that makes 16. So, how do I get Gordon Freeman from Half-Life to Touhou? Well, luckily for me, there's a nice mysterious entity who has Gordon in the ready when he needs him. Let's say Yukari and Digimon work together to solve this incident without getting their hands dirty. A little exchange, if you will. Now, at the end of Half-Life, Gordon is stripped of everything except his HEV suit, even if it's retconned in Half-Life 2. I'm going to change this to have him having everything from Half-Life 1, just so he has something to work with. These are a crowbar, 9mm pistol, revolver, shotgun, 10 5-second frag grenades, 5 remote detonated bombs, 5 laser tripwire mines, a RPG with 5 rockets, a crossbow, a Gauss gun, a gluon gun, a hive hand, and snarks. I won't take into account ammo, but I will take into account the amount of grenades, bombs, mines, and rockets. And just before we bulb him in, I'd like to give him a little title. For fun. I think for Half-Life I'll give him a theoretical physician. In the game you're supposed to feel like a scientist turned warrior, using your brain for battle rather than your pure brute, even if you can get through the game like that. The title reflects that pretty well in my opinion. For Half-Life 2, Anti-Citizen 1 sounds badass as hell, and the Combine referred to him as that throughout the game. Pretty fighting for a title. And here are the rules. Gordon will start at the Hawkeye Shrine, and with little to no outside help, we'll need to get to the Scarlet Devil Mansion, and through one way or the other, and the Scarlet Devil Mist. Sounds pretty easy, right? After all, the right man in the wrong place
can make all the difference in the world.
Gordon wakes up with a little explanation from the G-Man. All he got was that he had to stop the red mist. So yeah, he's starting off with nothing, not knowing yokai or any of the sort. I imagine it's before long he'll end up seeing the strokes of the mist are coming from. At least that's what I got from Bohemian Archive in Japanese Red, where the mist was seen as 5 strokes pouring out of the Scarlet Devil Mansion sky. Of course, closely afterwards he encountered the yokai of the dusk, Rumia. Gordon is quite disadvantaged here, not being able to fly and being hunted by something he has no idea works. He won't leave this battle unscathed. But seeing in stage 1 where you fight her is a fairly wooded area, I'll say he can use it to his advantage. After realizing Rumia just follows him blindly, he runs into a thick of trees. When he's out of sight, he throws down 2 remote detonated bombs. When Rumia comes through, he detonates them, knocking Rumia out. Entering the Misty Lake, he encounters his first problem. The SDM is on an island in the middle of the lake. Even if the lake was frozen over, I don't see Gordon beating Cerno in an open area. Well, unless it went down like this. After encountering Cerno, Gordon quickly identifies her as an enemy. Unlike the fairies before it, it seems like this one's more distinct and stronger. Cerno is able to freeze Gordon's bullets in midair. After realizing this, he stops his fire and starts to run around her, thinking of how to end the fight. After a bit of thought, he comes up with a plan and executes it. Rushing towards the fairy, he pulls out an RPG and fires it. Cerno focuses on the rocket, freezing it before it reaches her, but then she realizes she lost a human. Gordon, now behind her, using the ice to slide across, fires a second rocket, taking down the fairy and winning the battle. Of course, this leaves him with only 3 rockets left, but nonetheless, he reaches the lion. Believe it or not, I see him being meleeing quite easily. Unlike the other fighters, meleeing works pretty similar to other enemies Gordon had fought. Less little flying menaces, and on the ground. I have no idea what those cones or things are supposed to be, so I'm gonna stick with what the manga shows the art to be like. There's seemingly lots of space for Gordon to hide, and lay traps for meleeing, even without traps, running back and forth, chipping her wealth away with a shotgun works pretty well. I'd say he gets out of this one with minor injuries. This one's pretty interesting. On one hand, Gordon has sufficient space to play traps in a massive library, but on the other, Patchy has a lot of more knowledge on the outside world, seeing how she did build a rocket ship. Unlike Rumia and Cerno, Petulius has somewhat of a brain, and unlike Mei Ling, I don't see Gordon being able to chip away at her without having his life ended in the process. But Gordon's a smart man, and takes note of things when they happen, to use it to his advantage. Patchy has one major weakness: asthma. While running around avoiding the entourage of bullets and spells, Gordon quickly realizes the magician starts to cough, causing her to be unable to recite any spells. He quickly starts to create dust clouds for her to run through using a grenade. Patchouli quickly takes notes, trying to use miasma against me. Clever, for a human. Yet, it's too late. The battle has gone on for too long. She starts to have a coughing fit, and Gordon takes action. He turns around, using another rocket, one direct hit, and she's out. Yeah, I don't see him winning. I mean, he's just a guy. There's no way I'm about to make some crap out about him outsmarting her, right? Encountering Suaki in the hallway, Gordon's still on high alert, not taking any chances, and after almost dying to a librarian, starting to shoot at the maid with his shotgun. Suaki simply stops time and moves out of the way. I can teleport, you know? Gordon, undeterred, realizes her skirt has swayed as if she moved. Either she could move faster than the eye could see, or she could stop time. This really happened in Silent Center in Blue, by the way. Either way, Gordon has an idea for a trap, having her dodge into a trip wire. After setting his trap and shooting her, she just misses over the trap, so she can stop time. After she noticed the tripwire, out of curiosity, she triggers it, and quickly stops time before the explosion gets her. Suaki isn't as smart as Patchouli, but that doesn't make her a complete idiot. Gordon will need to switch up his plan somehow. He sets up a similar trap nearby, but this time Suaki notices it and moves to the other side. She checks around her, making sure it's safe before resuming time. There's a common saying in FPSs: people never look up. Gordon, earlier, had set up a bomb on a chandelier. Baiting Suaki into the perfect spot, the chandelier slams down on top of her. Next problem, you're seemingly going up a tower from stage 6. And like discussed before, Gordon can't fly. For this, let's just say Remy sees Gordon and comes down to him. Even so, I don't see him winning. Even if you aren't on top of a tower, you're still clearly outside and on top of the merchant, meaning Gordon doesn't have much to use for traps. Plus, she can fly and turn into a bat. Luckily for Gordon, vampires have a lot of weaknesses. Unfortunately, he has none of them on them. And he can't even stop her warning as the red mist blocks the sun. So what? He loses here? Well, I never said he had to beat her. I just said he had to solve the incident. Vermilia gives him the rundown on why he created the Scarlet Mist. Gordon wonders why she couldn't just use a paracel. Now, if he could tell her, that might have solved the incident, but well, he's silent. Great, another dead end. My final BS is using silver though. In Half-Life, after defeating an enemy, Gordon loots the weapon of the enemy. Luckily, Suaki uses knives, specifically silver. Using the knives, she is able to beat Vermilia, stopping the Scarlet Mist, and is sent back to stasis by the G-Man. In conclusion, at least for embodying the Scarlet Devil, Gordon gets stopped at stage 2. Being unable to fly will do that. Even if he does get into the mansion and to Vermilia, it's pretty far-fetched that he'll be able to beat Suaki or have anything to beat Vermilia. But let me know what you think. I'm interested in hearing it. Oh, and if you want to see more of it, maybe Rainbow versus the Combine, comment your ideas. Anyways, I hope to see you in December.